Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Megan.
And I'm Sierra, and today we're going to be doing kind of a fun plan with me sort of vlog. And our semester for spring starts next week for PT school, and we haven't really done too much prepping, so we're going to do that today.
So Sierra and I usually use a lot of electronic stuff for our planning. I know some people can be more like they want physical stuff, but we like to use our phones, our iPads, and our laptops to do all of our planning, so that's what we're going to be doing today.
So I figured first I want to share the classes we're going to be taking this semester for our second full semester of PT school. So we're taking Therapeutic Physical Agents, Musculoskeletal Therapeutics 1, Cardiopulmonary Therapeutics, Applied Clinical Medicine, Case-Based Learning 2, Integrated Clinical Education, and PT 2, and Functional Neuroanatomy.
Yeah, so Functional Neuroanatomy is going to be our big class just because it's the most semester hours. And then it looks like cardiopulmonary and musculoskeletal therapeutics. And then some of these classes are like the second part of stuff we've already done. So like our integrated clinical stuff, we had that last semester too. That would be like when we did our Friday clinicals.
And case-based learning is when we have like small groups that will meet on Zoom. So there's some classes, like we have a lot of classes, but there's some that are definitely like manageable, not so much like hard science classes. And we're both excited because this is where we start to like actually get to learn how to actually perform physical therapy techniques and do that kind of stuff. So it should be a good semester, and we have to start planning everything out now. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting in my schedule. I prefer to use Google Calendar just because I think it's easy to have on like all of my devices, and I like to be able to see what's going on like wherever I'm at, so I don't need a piece of paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on that, put in when my classes are, maybe where they're at.
So right now I have the Google Calendar app pulled up on my iPad, and I've already gone through and made what my semester and my schedule kind of looks like. I always like to go in and color coordinate each class. So from last semester, I just like took all of those classes out, re-categorized them, and so that way I just know based off of the color what the class is, and then I can just put lecture, lab, or anything else that I need to know for that class. So I don't have access to any of the syllabi right now because they're still kind of being uploaded, but what I like to do is I make sure that after I have all my classes in, any important assignments or exam dates that they upload, I make sure to add that in too. So let's say I have an exam on this Friday, then I'll go ahead and put that in. Or Sunday, that works. That wouldn't happen. Move it. And that's something that I think is super easy about using Google Calendar, and that way I can get on and usually check like every morning or the day before the next day of classes and just see what I have going on.
So the first thing I do when I'm updating my Google Calendar is make different calendars for each of my classes. For example, this one is musculoskeletal. And then after I do that, I just add in my classes, my lectures, and my labs, and organize it so that it's on the class calendar for that. And I make it go for 15 weeks straight. Alright, so I just finished putting everything on my Google Calendar. It's not fully in because on Monday it's looking kind of bare since I don't know which lab I'm going to be in. There's 3 different sections. I'm not sure which one I'm in yet. And then Friday, I know it looks amazing and we don't have class on Friday, but we do have clinical education on Friday, and I'm not sure how often we have it or how long we have it, so I can't put that in yet. But so far, this is our schedule. We're also doing a mix of hybrid, so some of the stuff is in person and some of it is online. Up next, what we would probably do at this point in time is figure out if we have any books that we need to get for next semester. We're lucky, we actually have someone in our class, like they have their boyfriend scour the internet for
to find
any free books
of close to what we need, or maybe they find the exact things that we need. Oftentimes too, even in undergrad, I would suggest not really worrying about it until the first week. Is still you have time to get books if you need the first week. Maybe if you have a lab first week, get your lab stuff, but other than that, you can be pretty flexible and ask people. We have DP2s ahead of us. We can ask if we need a book or not, and they give pretty good advice on whether or not we need it. And also knowing how much we kind of use textbook this semester, I think is helpful. And I use some textbooks, but
I'm not much of a textbook person, and just hearing from the class above us saying no one really used their textbooks, I'm gonna hold off on buying any textbooks for now because I don't really think I'll need it. I'm more of a what is the professor saying, and I'm gonna focus on that kind of thing. But we figured we'd include that because it's something you have to think about if you want to get books or not.
And if you want to try and find free textbooks, I know that LibGen, short for library, is a lot of times what people use.
And I know eCampus is pretty popular. It's not free, but it's cheaper books. But you can scour the internet. I would not pay full price for any books. Buy used if you can. books can get expensive.
Okay, once all of your classes get published, some of ours still aren't, so we haven't done this for all of our classes yet, but you want to make sure you go on and start looking to see if you're expected to do anything before you actually show up to your first class, because that is going to give you a heart attack otherwise if you show up and realize that you didn't do what you're supposed to do. I literally did that for one of our, like, it wasn't like the first class, but it was like we were supposed to do stuff for a class the next week, and we were supposed to do a reading to discuss, and I just like didn't know we had a reading to do, and I was just like, I'm just gonna sit here and hope that I don't get called on.
So one of our classes, they published the first module. It's our interprofessional health class, and we have a Zoom meeting on January 29th, which is the end of our first week. And so they're just saying, like, make sure you have all this stuff prepped and ready to go for like the Zoom meeting, because you're gonna have to talk and share stuff. So make sure you are aware of things you should do beforehand, because it'd be the worst thing ever to show up and be like, I didn't know we were supposed to do that. So I'm not saying we're gonna do this right now, because we still have like more than a week to do it, but make sure you do it.
Okay, since I use an iPad, the next thing I'm going to do is go on to my note-taking app of choice, which is Notability for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and make my new class subjects. So I'm going to go ahead and put my past semester classes into the finished section, and then I'm going to make my new ones. All my classes have been made. The next one is a very fun, very 2020/2021 specific problem. We're gonna order some new face shields, because me and Sierra hated the face shields we had last semester, and then we finally like bought new ones and they suck too. So we're going to order the same ones that everyone else in our class has been wearing, which are the glasses ones, because they're just going to be the easiest. And I just like,
the issue with the first one is two problems. One, it was way too bulky. We can insert videos of us wearing it. It's just like, they were huge. And also I think like my widow's peak, like it would get caught on it. So I have a lot of like shorter hairs here.
And like just wearing that. Screws on the side to like hold it together, but like sometimes they'd pop out. So I literally had a hair tie on one side of my holding it.
There's just so many moving parts for that to work. And then after a while, we were at Hy-Vee doing grocery shopping, and we saw near the pharmacy they had some new face shields that were just more slender, a little less bulky.
I've seen people wear those ones before. I didn't think they'd be that option.
There's like the white headband kind of like that goes like that with just the shield hanging down like that. You can maybe insert a video of us wearing those.
But those kind of suck too.
Yeah,
and they would
fog. They were foggy since they didn't like have any airflow, and the glasses ones, they have airflow allowed through, so it doesn't like fog up, especially like when you're wearing a mask. Like it just gets so fogged up, and I'm like, I'd have to like pull the face shield like away from my forehead just so it would like defog.
And then imagine doing that and having all of that when you're like also in a lab class where you're trying to work on people and stuff.
It's just,
so I like diverted back to my other face shield. I just don't like it, so we are going to order another one. Okay, here's the name of the one we're getting. I'll screenshot it and pop it up. It's the Salip Face Shields set with 12 replaceable anti-fog shields and 6 reusable glasses for women and men to protect eyes and face. Before we get back to class next Monday, we are also planning to spend a little bit of time reviewing some of what we learned last semester. Probably I think mostly like brushing up on anatomy stuff, origin, insertion, innovation stuff,
probably,
and just like reviewing basic kinesiology concepts to help us as we go into our next classes, because this isn't really like undergrad where it was like you learn something and then you kind of get a free pass and you can move on and forget it a little bit anyways. We're building off of stuff now, so we have to actually like know what we just learned.
And we've been taking this month off, like we haven't done anything, so you know, a little review won't hurt anybody. I actually do think like going back I'll be like, yeah, I do know that, so that's good. Just like we learned it so much more in a long time. So even just getting back into the mindset of like learning and retaining information is going to be helpful for really starting and kicking it off next week. All right, so the last thing we kind of want to cover for this video is just how we organize everything not school related around our school schedule, because that's clearly like the strictest thing we have to stick to.
And a lot of you guys kind of want to know and ask us like, how do you make sure you maintain everything, school life versus our job, I guess, which is YouTube, versus social life, which hasn't really been like something that's been very important during the pandemic. So maybe once the pandemic starts to die down, that'll be
update that, and then also just working out. And so we're just going to do like a little talk through of like when we could like fit in times. I feel like working out is going to be like the easiest thing to show you guys. So we'll have our schedule popped up on the screen and just like talk you guys through what we're thinking. So we usually try and work out 3 to 4 times a week, kind of like every other day is typically my goal. So that just depends on the week. But looking at our schedule, Monday I think would be a good day to work out. Obviously we don't know which lab we're in, but even with a lab, we're still gonna have plenty of time, I think, to work out.
Then Wednesday, there's a good chunk of time that's open as well.
Yeah.
That we could work
I
out.
don't have lunch though, so we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, but I still
I think it could
there's
still
time.
work. And then Tuesday, if we want to go before class, we don't have class until 10, so I feel like if we wanted to like go before, we could do that. I usually try and look for like a 2-ish hour window of time because I usually have like 45 minutes to work out and then like getting to the gym, getting back from the gym, taking a shower if you need to. And then obviously if you have to like travel to campus for class, you know, account that into your schedule. I don't see myself working out on Thursday. Like,
It's a pretty full day.
yeah, and I have to get up like super early, I feel like, so I'm not sure about that. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think Friday depends on how our clinicals end up working out, but if we have like not a clinical every Friday,
Our
Friday would be a
clinicals
great
this
day.
semester are full day clinicals, so it's 8 to 5, I think, or 9 to 5, something like that. So unless you want to work out afterwards on Friday, which I just kind of don't see being the case, then we'll just like work out Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, so I think that seems to be a pretty good start. And then I think like weekends are honestly the best when it comes to like really resetting. Like podcasting is something we typically do on like Saturdays or Sundays because, you know, you have the whole day
It's just
to do
like
it.
the days where like, regardless of honestly probably how much studying you have to do anyways, like you can't really like say I don't have time set aside an hour to go work out or like an hour to podcast. You have time to do that stuff.
Yeah, and then as far as like schoolwork and studying, we tend to do that like throughout the week. So honestly, it's just kind of, you know, if I get home from class and I need to study, I'll just study until usually like 9 is kind of when I try and cut it off.
I feel like it really depends on the day. I feel like when there's not an exam coming up, it's more like 7 or 8 and not like 9.
But I don't study like till, you know, midnight, 1 a.m. Like I do not sacrifice my sleep over school typically. If anything, I'll try and get up earlier, but if I'm going to bed, I'm going to bed.
Also, something that's kind of fun this semester is me and Sierra are interested in maybe once we figure out our class schedules, we want to find, well, actually we have found some Airbnbs that are like close to us to do like a little staycation for the weekend. And even if you have to like do some studying, I just feel like it'll be good for us to have like that kind of escape.
Yeah,
And
just
so
be at a
we
different
found
place.
2 different ones for sure that we think would be fun to go to this semester, but just something fun to do, spice things up.
Yeah, especially if we don't have a clinical on Friday and we just have like, we can make it a little 3-day thing, that would be fun.
Also, if you've watched our last vlog, we started using a content calendar thing to help us plan stuff out. So we'll probably towards the end of this week start planning out February. T2 stuff is already planned out for that, so that's good. But just like thinking of podcast ideas so that those are set in stone and thinking of like different things we might want to do. Like if we figure out a week that works for our Airbnb, like putting that on there because we want to make a Megan's Here video specifically for at least one of those stays. And just like planning stuff out that way has also been really good, and hopefully we can continue doing that.
I think like that kind of covers everything that we are doing to prep for this upcoming semester. If you guys have any questions that you don't feel like we really answered about how we're prepping, feel free to leave a comment below and maybe we'll answer it.
Sierra and I also have a podcast called According To that you guys can listen to anywhere that podcasts are available. So make sure to check it out. We post every single Thursday.
And we'll see you guys whenever we post next.
Bye.